Alrighty, so what we got today is I'm going to do a little video on how to put on an ACES fuel injection. We're going to swap from carburetor to a throttle body on this 68 CUDA. I'm going to show you how easy it is to do it with just some basic tools. Now, I did order the simplest kit that they have. It's called the KillShot Classic. It's the most basic. The harness looks like a basket case, but it's really not. Every single lead is got a label on it, exactly where it goes. So it should be pretty straightforward. I got the command center too, which this is an all-in-one unit. It's got the pressure regulator. It's got the reserve capacity, fuel gauge, and the fuel pump. And the cool thing about it is we're just going to take the feed right here from the mechanical pump in the stock tank, and we're going to bring her right over here. And then that's going to fill that pump, and then it boosts the pressure, and we'll feed from that red fitting in the middle over to where the carburetor sits now, which will be our new throttle body. We got a GM distributor, style distributor back there. And one thing I want to show you guys is I'm a big fan of these batteries that are side post and top post, because these aftermarket throttle body kits do require a dedicated 12 volt at the battery. And so I like to use those side posts for that and keep it simple and clean away from the terminals, in case, you know, there's accessories that need to go on there or whatever. So if you can do that, or like it's a 3478 is the group size on that, or you can do like your Red Top Optimas. They got dual post too. Those things are great. So, all right, well, we're going to get started, and hopefully with some basic tools in a few hours, we're going to get this thing done. It is running. It should be in really good shape about. Runs good right now. See if we can make it run a lot better. Okay, so we know the 360 runs. First thing we're going to do, well, one of the first things, you're supposed to disconnect your battery. So I disconnected the ground, and now we can start doing the mechanical fun stuff. There's no power anywhere. We're going to put our surge tank and fuel pump over here, the command center. We're going to put our ECU on the inner fender. You can mount that inside too. There's plenty of length on the harness. I'm going to keep it all simple right on this side where it's clean. Run the fuel line return to the tank down on this side. So we're going to start by removing the carburetor. It's got 2 bolts on the front, 2 on the back. You've got your throttle linkages, fuel line over here, choke, a few vacuum lines, and she'll come out. Now, they don't have a quadrijet version. The KillShot 2, all the KillShots for that matter, they're all a square bore, okay? So we're using the basic quadrijet to square bore spacer. As long as you've got good gaskets, you should have no problems with sealing. And that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna start with that and go from there. Let's get busy. Okay, so I just want to show you guys where we're at. So got the throttle body bolted on, and you can see that my kickdown linkage, my throttle linkage. If you guys don't have one of these adjustable linkage mounts, highly recommended, because you can just slide them back and forth. And I did have to trim down the post for the stock air cleaner, but you can see that my throttle cable works good. Everything's wide open. And then I'll show you over here. Everything fits. You can see where the fuel lines are gonna be right underneath that stock air cleaner right there. There's still some room there. And the linkage over here. Everything fits underneath that real good. Still gives it that look. You see that Aces logo right there on the front. Looks pretty cool. So I just got to start worrying about the wiring and the fuel lines. Little change of plans. I need a 90-degree for here and here if I'm going to put it up on the fender and lay it on its side. So I'm just going to temporarily do it on the inside of the fender there and see if that'll work. And then, so I'm going to work on the wiring now. You can see, you just plug that right in right there on the side, and then you start laying out your wiring harness, how you're going to have it. It's super easy. You can see here the plugs. It's labeled. It says right to the ECU to the KillShot. It's just going to plug and play right there, just like that. Snap, snap. Easy. Then I'm just going to run my wires over to the battery. Oops. Like so, and get things wired in, and then tuck it all in real nice and easy. And over here we've got a coolant temp sensor, CTS, real easy. That's going to go right down there. We got a TPS, throttle position sensor, right here. It's going to click in over there. And then one for the wideband O2 sensor to go down below. So there's really not much to plug in. It's just a matter of routing your wires and figuring out where you want it to be. So that's where I'm at for right now, and I'll get back to you after I get a few things routed and tidied up. Okay, so here's a little update. So we've got the ECU mounted. Comes with these little rubber grommets. Keeps it from vibrating, keeps it elevated so you can get airflow underneath it, keep it cool. We just click these right in, no big deal. We've got our TAC wires. So the gray is TAC input from the distributor. Brown is TAC output, which is going to go to the factory TAC or aftermarket. Still got to get the right little connectors for those. Over here I've got fan 1, fan 2, not using those, and then a fuel level also, which I'm not using those. Then on the fuel pump side of things, you've got the orange wire that's in the harness, goes to the positive side, and then you've got a separate ground. I ran the ground all the way around, and it's over there onto the battery as well. Come over here, you've got the 12-volt battery. You've got the 12-volt or the battery negative for the ECU. This is the ground for the fuel pump. And then over here we've got keyed 12-volt. And that keyed 12-volt needs to be maintained 12 volts cranking and running. And they supply, Aces supplies you with a relay setup so that you can take a dirty signal pretty much from anywhere. In this case, I'm using what was my 12 volt to my electric choke. That'll activate the relay, which will then give me a clean 12 volts connected in at the battery over here, and it'll all be keyed running off that relay. So the relay will be the only the thing that's running the ECU. That's the only thing that'll come off of that, so you'll have a nice clean signal cranking and running. Other than that, we're down to making some fuel lines and going from there. Oh yeah, I want to show you so right down here you've got the coolant temp sensor, and that's right here. It says CTS, coolant temp sensor. Super easy. We just take that guy, click, you're done. Okay, so we're going to do that. And then we ran this is for the O2 sensor going down below, so we got to get under the car for that. But and then we just got to tidy up over here the loose ends. You've got your fuse connections, and then you've got your relays. So those need to be zip tied or bolted into place. And that's where we're at. So I'll get back to you in a little bit. Okay guys, so I'm gonna say that this is the only part of the install that is not user friendly for the average installer. If you don't have a welder, then this O2 bung, which you have to have for the O2 sensor for the system to work, you're gonna have to take to an exhaust shop to have welded in. Now they do sell aftermarket clamp-on style, which I've seen with some of the other manufacturers and I've used previously. They may leak, but the weld-in is certainly best. But if you're not a welder, then this is going to be a difficult part of the install. You'll be able to do everything but this, and you have to take it to an exhaust shop and have them weld the bung in. So yeah, just be aware of that. Okay, so this is just a quick look at the clamp-on style. I believe you can get these on at Summit Racing or Jags or eBay or anywhere like that. So if you don't have a welder, this is going to be your solution to putting the O2 sensor in. So you drill a hole and then you clamp it in place, and that's what you're looking at. Now I'll show you what it looks like on the other side with the weld in. Okay, so this is a little bit harder to see under the Barracuda instead of my truck, but that's what your O2 sensor should look like. And it's, I don't know, probably a good 10 or 12 inches back from the header collector itself. So you want to have it in the mainstream, and this kit does use a single O2 sensor, so you don't need to worry about doing both sides. All right. Okay, so this is where we're at. I just finished priming the command center. I did that manually. I filled it with gasoline from a squeeze bottle because I didn't want the pump to run dry on initial startup. So it will get fed from the mechanical pump down here under normal use. I still need to make the hoses, but I'm waiting on a couple of AN fittings. And for right now, I'm just got the handheld hooked up here underneath the hood as the whole interior is torn apart. So I don't have a place to put that right yet. So anyway, tomorrow when I get those AN fittings, we will get the fuel filter in and hopefully fire it up, and we'll go from there. See you tomorrow. Okay, so here we are, another day. Got my printed instructions in the mail. If you guys want those, be sure and ask for them. I've been doing the install off of the PDF online on my phone. We left off where I was short a couple fittings. I had to get these AN fittings and the 10 micron filter, and then I had to get the plug so we can deadhead. So fuel is in here, and then that causes the deadhead, and then the fuel return over here runs all the way down along the rail with the factory fuel line, and I need to hook that into the tank. But I do have a new tank on order because I want to start fresh and clean. So we're pretty darn close to starting this thing up, and I'll come back to you with that part. And here's the new fuel tank that I got from eBay. And here's the return line fitting from Aces. And here's the new tank installed under the CUDA. Okay guys, so we got the fuel line all hooked up on the return. So now we're gonna prime our fuel system. So let's listen for the fuel pump. All right, that's primed. We'll go take a look and see that she's got any leaks or not. All right, come over here, take a look. Looks like the fuel pressure is a little bit low, but once we get it running, that should tick up, I think. So let's go fire it up and see if it'll do the deal. Okay, here we go. fuel pumping here. We got fuel pressure here. We're doing fuel injection things, guys. Some run time. So guys, I'm going to call this a win. I mean, obviously we don't have any drive time on it yet, but this just goes to show that if you can read the directions and you got some basic mechanical skills, it doesn't take very long. It took longer to get parts ordered than it did to get them put on the car. So there it is, guys. It's installed and it does run, and it took me a weekend. If I was better organized, I probably could have got it done in one day. Shipping parts took longer than doing the install. So this is proof, guys, that just like Asa says, if you're a guy that is just pulling an old car out of the woods and you want to get it running again, this is proof. That motor's nothing special, but you know what? This is a survivor car. This one's going to be on the road, cruising up and down the beach, just having a good time, and it sure beats sitting in a tree row. So get yourself a fuel injection system from Aces. Super easy, super quick, and it'll run like a new machine.